Good morning. Welcome you again on this Monday morning to Morning Encouragement. I have some morning encouragement for you today, and I have some good news for you as well on this Monday morning. It seems that there finally is a sign that we're beginning to win the battle with COVID-19. I'm excited about this. The North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services reports this morning that yesterday we only had 155 new cases of COVID-19 in the state of North Carolina. Now that you say 155, that's way down from the previous day's 458 cases. Now that's a good sign. The weather's warmer. Maybe that's going to be a trend for us, but it certainly seems as though we're winning the battle and beginning to flatten the curve on COVID-19 in the state of North Carolina. Also, yesterday was the first day in many, many days that we've had less than 500 people hospitalized as a result of COVID-19. There again is a great trend. I'm glad to see that. I'm thankful for that. And I trust that you are continuing to stay home, slow down, social distance yourself from others, wear your mask when you go out in public, and your gloves if you need to, and take care of yourselves until we see the victory in this battle completely won. And I don't think it'll be long now until we'll see our state reopened and things will be back doing better than ever. We certainly hope. I do want to remind you this morning that we need to pray. Continue to pray, please, and ask God for help in this time. You know, He's the only one really who can help us, and we know that. And we need to pray and ask Him to relieve us of this COVID-19 pandemic and give us some sense of normalcy back to our lives. Now, I do remind you to pray for a couple of reasons. Number one, He's the one who can help us, and He is a mighty God who wants to help you and me in our times of trouble. Now, the psalmist knew that, and in Psalm 118, he wrote to the people of Israel, he wanted them to recognize how good their God was and how His mercies endured forever. And so he says to them in verses 5 through 8, I called upon the Lord in distress. The Lord answered me and set me in a large place. Now that would seem to say to me that the psalmist was confined and God opened him up and let him get out again and let him get back into a larger place of service. I called upon the Lord in distress. The Lord answered me and set me in a large place. The Lord is on my side. I will not fear what men can do to me. The psalmist goes on to say, the Lord taketh my part with them that help me. Therefore shall I see my desire upon them that hate me. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. Now, he mentions in that psalm, in those verses, two people. There's always two sides, always fighting against each other. He mentions the people who would help him, and he asks God to allow, to take part with him and them. And then he says there's also those people who want to hurt me. I thought about the two sides, and they've always been present. They're led by two captains. One is the captain called Satan, who is a deceiver of men, a wicked man, a wicked person who wants to lead those who will deny God and turn against God and try to seek their own happiness and health and pleasure. And then there's our captain, the Lord Jesus Christ, who leads and guides us in the things of God and godliness, wanting us to make our way the way of God. And He encourages us to do that, and He leads us for good, while Satan leads his people to destroy and to hurt. Satan always works in division and subtraction. God works in multiplication. Satan works in subtraction and division, and God always works in addition and multiplication. And so God is working for good, while Satan is working to tear down and hurt. It reminded me that this is not new with man. This has been going on for a long, long time. I was reminded yesterday, I received a post from a friend, and I was reminded of something that C.S. Lewis, one of my favorite writers, wrote back in 1942. Now, 1942 is called the year that brought great men to their knees. What happened? We were in the midst of World War II. The battles were raging. Our country was engaged in the World War. And the effects it was having on these people in America was not good, much like what we see today. And C.S. Lewis penned these words. He noticed the two sides, and he penned what he thought Satan was saying and doing, and then he penned what he thought Jesus was saying and doing. I want you to listen to this. I'll read it to you so that I don't misquote C.S. Lewis. He says, first of all, Satan says, I will cause anxiety, fear, and panic. I will shut down business, schools, places of worship, and sports events. I will cause economic turmoil, end quote. And then C.S. Lewis writes, and Jesus said, I will bring them together as neighbors, restore the family unit. I will bring dinner back to the kitchen table. I will help people slow down their lives and appreciate what really matters. I will teach my children to rely on me and not the world. I will teach my children to trust me and not their money and material resources, end quote. Wonderful words written there by C.S. Lewis in 1942 about the effects that World War II was having on the people of America. Here in 2020, we are experiencing the pandemic of COVID-19, and it has had great effects on us, the American citizens. We know that God is on our side. As Christians, we know what he's done for us, and now he calls upon us and asks us to trust him in this time. Can we say, as the psalmist said, the Lord taketh my part with them that help me, therefore shall I see my desire upon them that hate me. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. Let's remember that today, and let's call on God and ask him to help us as we continue to seek relief from the COVID-19 pandemic. May God bless you and give you a good day. I trust he will.